G'day throttlers, welcome back to the channel. Today you find me on the Z1000 Kawasaki, the latest model, super naked, and this is a bike that I've been wanting to try for such a long time. I'm a massive fan of the Z series of bikes. In fact, if I was to have a second bike, it would be a Z series, probably the Z900 or the Z900 RS. Anyway, we're on the Throttle Downunder test track. Let's give it a bit of a whirl and we'll talk about it later. Alright, if you've been following me for quite some time, you know that I'm a self-confessed Mr. Average motorcycle rider. I'm the first one to admit that I'm average, so no need to comment about it in the comments, but I have a good time and I try and be as safe as possible. And to be completely honest, the majority of people that ride are average riders as well. Weekend warriors, you might say. The best thing that I can say is that I admit that I'm average, rather than thinking that I'm better than I am. Whew. Well, the Z1000 it makes an absolute meal out of these corners. Short wheelbase, aggressive brakes, power and torque for days. It's just an absolute dream to ride on this sort of road. Bit of a bingle down here. That's the downside to these sorts of roads, that people take corners too wide. Looks like it might have been some kids. And it puts all of us at danger. All you got to do is stick to your lane, team. Stick to your lane. And drive and ride to your capabilities. Look, this Z1000, man, what a wicked bike. No one behind me. Let's test the brakes. Woo! Yeah, they stop like you wouldn't believe. All right. The Throttle Downunder test track, folks, is open for everyone. It's called Springwood Road. Ooh. But it certainly is one of the best places to come and grow your skills and to test drive a Z1000. So impressed. Personally, I'm a fan of the naked bike seating position, slightly upright, not down like a racer. And this bike is exactly that. Seating position is awesome. The balance of the bike is ridiculous, in a good way, of course. There's plenty of rubber down there to lean right over and still have faith that rear tyre is hanging on. Look, essentially this type of riding is kind of what the Z series is built for. The way I look at a Z series, it's a little bit of a hooligan bike, a great commuter to ride every day, and an absolute weapon on a good set of twisty roads with the right person at the helm. I'm not saying that I'm the right person, but I am having a whole lot of fun. I can promise you that. There we go. Whew. The Z1000 gets the Throttle Downunder thumbs up every single day of the week. I want one. Makes me want one real bad, I think. Now, I don't know how noisy this audio is going to be, but I'm sitting here in a park, and in summer in Australia, there's always cicadas. And if you can hear it, that's the noise that they make. It's deafening at times. And the only place I could do this without having them around here would be indoors somewhere. So hopefully it's not too bad. And if it is bad, I am terribly sorry. But hey, Australia, right? Well, what can I say? It's been over a year since I've been on a quacker, and this one hasn't let me down at all. The Z1000, I've been wanting to ride this for over a year. Now, Graham from Penrith Kawasaki had told me it's been in stock for a little while, but because of COVID, because of weather, I just hadn't been able to get out and have a go. But today the sun's out and I had a day off work, so I was able to grab hold of it. The Z series of Kawasaki is probably one of my favourite Kawasaki series. I just love the aggressiveness of it, the headlights, those LED headlights that are almost like transformerish or robotic. It just looks like a really, really angry bike in a good way. The ABS brakes were absolutely phenomenal. Stock exhaust, in my opinion, I don't like it. It does fit with the design of the bike, and I understand why factory have put that stock exhaust on it. Personally, I don't like the look. I'd rather see some sort of aftermarket on there that's probably more rounded and obviously louder, but all in all, what a ripper of a bike. Our riding position is fantastic. It's upright with a slight lean forward, like most super naked bikes are, or most naked bikes I should say. The seat is really comfortable but firm. I don't know what it would be like after 200 kilometers, but for the style of riding that you do on this bike, it hits all the targets, and it looks good. It's got the Zs all over the seat, and I think the seat looks really, really cool. All right, just having a walk around of the Z1000. Starting at the front, you can see that those headlights are beautiful and aggressive. I really love that. It almost looks like a creature out of a sci-fi movie. I'm a big fan of that. The two center LEDs are your driving lights, and then obviously your high beams on the outside, but that is absolutely beautiful. LED indicators and the ABS, 310mm, I think that's called a butterfly disc. Stops the bike like you wouldn't believe. The header's underneath the cooling radiator here and going out to the stock exhaust. Again, I think that stock exhaust matches the style of bike, but I would change it out if it was me. I'd put something a little bit more angular, a little bit more circular maybe, with a better sound. There's the beautiful 1043cc inline 4 engine. Nice little Z badge there, coming up to the 17-litre tank, and the beautiful Z embossed seat there, very comfy, but it looks spot on as well. And the 1000cc decal coming around the back. You see a nice wide rear tyre. So tucking into those corners much faster and better than I can. You've got plenty of grip there. Single disc on the rear, 250mm single disc. Coming around the other side as well. Coming back further so you can have a good look at it. In my opinion, it's just an absolutely epic looking machine. Nice amount of aggression with style as well. Coming into the cockpit, the dashboard sits low. You do have to look down to see it, but it's everything's really visible. And as I said on the ride, your tacho doesn't even activate until you hit 4,000 revs, and then it revs right up to 11,500 red line. Woo. All right, there's some power in that. All right, let's go through some specs, the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. Now, firstly, it's a 1043cc engine. It's an inline 4, of course, being Kawasaki. It is 105 kilowatts of power at 10,000 RPM, and it's 111 Newton meters of torque at 7,300 RPM. Now, front and rear ABS on here. The front disc brakes are 310 millimeters, and there are 2 of them. The rear is, from memory, 250 millimeters, and there is 1 of them. But this thing stops like you wouldn't believe. I'm just going to slow down a bit because I don't want to throw myself off the bike. So let's say we'll go from 80 to nothing. There's no one behind me. Oh, far out. Man, whew. That actually had the rear wheel off the ground. I could feel it sliding. I seriously can't fault this bike. It is so much fun. It's lightweight, it's flickable, it's naked, which I like a lot. And even with the stock pipes on it, it sounds good, especially when you're up it. Alright, we've done the twisty roads. We've discovered that the Z1000 is a weapon on them. Now we're just doing a little bit of a freeway run back down into Penrith. We're up in the Blue Mountains right now. And there's a fair bit of breeze today, a bit of a cross breeze. We're sitting about 80 kilometers an hour right now. And we're doing like 3,000 revs in 6th gear, nice and easy. Being the owner of a street glide with a big fairing in front of me, it's actually very refreshing to jump on a naked bike and just have the wind on my whole body. It's enjoyable when you don't get it. So on a hot day like this in particular, it cools you down nicely. Now there is a little wind deflector here on the dash of the Z1000. So what it's doing, it's moving the air up and it's hitting me in around about the center of my chest and above. And it's actually a really nice place to feel it, because when you get a bit of speed about you, in the body position that you're in, you're leaning into the wind. There's no weight on your hands when you're traveling at speed because of it, and it's really quite pleasant. Alright guys, before I wrap it up, I want to give a big shout out to Penrith Kawasaki. I keep going to say Penrith Motorcycle Centre because that's what they used to be called when I used to do reviews for them a couple of years ago. Penrith Kawasaki, thank you so much for letting me take the Z1000 for the day. If you're in Sydney or New South Wales and you're interested in the Z1000, head down to Penrith Kawasaki. This exact bike is ready for you to test ride. It's a demo bike and you could come and jump on it straight away and have a bit of fun like I have. You won't regret it. It's a really good bike. Now again, due to COVID and the fact that everyone's selling things so fast at the moment, give them a quick call before you pop in, just to make sure that the bike is there. Of course, it's just as likely to be sold as quick as a jiffy, and but I highly recommend the Z1000. It's an absolute cracker of a bike. Anyway team, that's it from me. As always, thank you for watching the videos. I appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for motorcycle and car content. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and share to your friends, your family, your grandmother, anyone, share it to anyone. And until the next video folks, throttle on, stay safe, and see you later.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here